Hi, and welcome back to the Super Marco Podcast. Today we're talking about evidence of evolution. And today we have a special guest star, and you can take one guess who it is. Researcher Marco Liverman! It's so glad to have you here today, Marco. I mean, it is just amazing. But please tell us, where's the evidence behind evolution? Well, thank you for asking, Marco. Marco, obviously, it's fossils. Those are the main factors of evolution. I mean, from fossils, we can tell how evolution occurred in between the time periods of them. The main point, or the main factor of the fossils, is how deep in the Earth's crust they are between the sedimentary rocks. See, sedimentary rocks is probably the best possible places you can find these fossils. With the sedimentary rock, we can get an idea of how old these fossils are. You see, with the layers on top of each other, the idea of young rock on top of old rock, the principle of stratigraphy, we can tell how old these prehistoric creatures are. Interesting. And would you say that the Earth has gone through its own evolution throughout the years? Well, yes, I would say the Earth evolved. I have a young scientist here to help me explain that. Ari, can you help me explain what continental drift is?
Continental drift is the drifting of continents.
Wow. And can you tell me what the original continent was? Like when they were all together?
Oh, Pangea?
Exactly. But Marco, how would these continents even move? You see, the reason that these continents drift is because of the tectonic plates, which is the large pieces of the Earth's crust, can either go through subduction, which they slip under one another, or lava forming new crust, which causes them to move apart. And would you say that there are any signs of evolution within humans? Oh, Marco, what a great question. Ari, would you say there's any signs of evolution in humans?
I don't think so.
Well, actually, Ari, there's embryology. With this type of science, we can see that there were certain characteristics of humans inside the embryo, but they don't serve a purpose anymore, so they would just revert back to the normals characteristics of humans. There's also vestigial characteristics, which are traits organisms possess but no longer have any function or need. Now, why is it that some traits or structures have different purposes in animals?
Isn't that homology?
Exactly, which is the similarity in structures but difference in function, which we find in some animals. Another question I would like to ask is there any signs of evolutionary transition? Unfortunately, there is no exact sign of transitional evolution, but you can kind of see in between before and after stages. But no, there's no exact evolution transition. Going back to fossils, where would you say that the best fossils are usually found? The best place to find fossils would have to be aquatic life, due to all the large sediments within the sea. And I never really told you why sedimentary rock is the best place to find fossils. The reason it's the reason it's the best place to find fossils is because igneous rock is just molten lava cooled down, which causes, which would destroy the fossil. And metamorphic rock is just one rock turning into another, which I assume would destroy the fossil. And what would you say is the most earliest sign of the first fossil? Thank you for asking. You see, the earliest appearance of most animals mark the Paleozoic era, and dinosaur and fossil records mark the Mesozoic era, which ended by an asteroid. And the current era we live in now is the Cenozoic era. Now, you said that an asteroid destroyed the dinosaurs in the Mesozoic era. Could you use the same asteroid to tell how old the Earth is, or even other asteroids? Well, actually, it's not just asteroids we use to tell how old the Earth is. We use the moon and meteorites around the Earth. You see, with this, we can use something called redshift, which usually stars give off this bluish color, and as they start pushing away from the planet, they start to turn red, which is why it's called redshift. And with this, we can calculate how old the Earth is, which should be around 4.6 billion years old. Wow, thank you, Marco. I think that's about all the time we have. But before we go, I'd like to ask you, the viewer, a couple of questions, just to make sure you're paying attention. The first question would be, what is the main evidence of evolution? A, B, C, or D? D, correct. Question number 2 is, what is redshift? A, B, C, or D? You can pause anytime. D. 3, The third question would be, is there fossils that have transitional evolution? True or false? False. And now, question number 4. What is Pangea? If you answered the original continents altogether, then you're correct. Alright, Marco, I think that's all the time we have. Thank you for coming on this show and giving us so much wonderful information on the evidence of evolution. Just to summarize up what you talked about, we talked about how fossils is the number one sign of evolution, how there are vestigial and embryology studies that show that humans have evolved from different species. In addition to that, we learned about how the Earth has also evolved due to continental drift and how the planet has changed over time, and just how old the Earth is using redshift. And to you, audience out there, thank you for watching, and please come again on the Super Marco Podcast.